gentlemen, you're welcome to this edition of The Inside on Equinoxe Television. We are broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Barrister Jonathan. In this edition of the program, we're going to take a critical look at the Ngarbu incident. 5 persons killed in that incident according to official sources, and more than 20 killed according to some non-governmental organizations and local and international non-governmental organizations and human rights organizations indicate that at least 22 people were killed in the Ngarbu incident in the Donga Mantum Division, northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And this is one of the deadliest incidents recorded in Anglophone Cameroon within the context of the Anglophone crisis since the start of 2020. Other incidents, other atrocities have been committed. Houses burnt down in several parts of Anglophone Cameroon. In this edition of the program, we'll also talk about the struggle for political transition in the Republic of Cameroon. This is a struggle led by the Stand Up for Cameroon Civil Society platform and other political parties, including the Cameroon People's Party, the CPP, the Popular Action Party, and other politicians who have joined the train to fight for a political transition in Cameroon because they believe that there is nothing that can work in Cameroon with the present regime that will guest in some few seconds. Our guest in this edition of the program is one of the most outspoken and courageous female politicians in the Republic of Cameroon. She is also a legal mind, Barrister Michelle NDOKI, a politician and of course lawyer, member of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the nice compliments.
You're welcome. You know, let's start within the party. You're leading the women in the party.
I am the first vice president of the women's wing, yes. The president of the women's wing is called Miss Wasun.
And you're leading the women of the CRM political party within the context of the struggle for change in Cameroon.
I would say it's not just about the women. It's true that lately I've been involved in a movement. I hope we will be talking about that. I've been involved in an initiative that is not just about the party, but is about women. But I dare to think that I'm regarded as a leader before being regarded as a woman leader by my fellow Cameroonians.
You're part of the struggle for political transition in Cameroon led by the Stand Up for Cameroon Civil Society platform.
I am a part of an initiative called Women of the Nation, which is different, has links with the Stand Up for Cameroon, but is a movement that goes far beyond Stand Up for Cameroon. Women of the Nation is an initiative that aims at regrouping women from various parties, various civil society organizations. We even targeting some of the CPDM women members. So it is about us as women standing up to say we are victims of the situation that is unfolding in our country at the moment. People are talking, politicians are talking about the destiny of this country, and we are the victims. I, as a person, had to leave my my house, my home in Limbe, and I'm now living in Douala, sometimes with my parents, sometimes in Yaoundé with my stepmother. Some of my children are in Yaoundé, some are in Douala, and this is because of the situation. And my situation is even a good one. We will talk about the thousands, hundreds of thousands of women, children, men that are being affected by the current situation. And the current situation is down to the decision of some politicians. So this initiative, Women's Mothers of the Nation, it is about saying to the other victims that, hey, we are not obliged to continue to sit down and watch while our lives are being destroyed.
And take action.
We have to take action, and we have to voice our opinion about the way this crisis, this very moment in the history of our country is being managed. I think this is what it is about.
What kind of action, for example, is...
So we have started actually by calling all the women to reject the official International Day's gown or material that is being sold for the 8th of March, to reject the idea, yes, to reject the idea of wearing this gown, because this gown is regarded as the symbol of the celebration of the women's status in our society on the 8th of March each year. And we think that there's nothing to celebrate. We instead should be mourning. So this year we are calling on the women to wear black instead, and on the 8th of March to express their sadness, their pain, their terrible feeling about the situation of this country. We will have a gathering on the 7th of March, and on the 8th of March we will go to church and we will pray. And we will pray for the soul of those who have departed, and we will ask to the government to stop this senseless war and armed conflict, because we believe it is down to the government to stop it and to organize the dialogue and to resolve the issue that we have at hand peacefully.
So 8th of March is
8th of March,
a Black Day.
Yes, it's called our Black Day
of the nation. For
the mothers of the nation.
And all other women who would like to join the train.
We believe we are all mothers of the nation. Last time I checked, it was still women who were giving birth to citizens in any country, and that includes Cameroon. So we are calling on all the women, you're right, and it is about standing up. We can do something about the situation. It is because of our silence that the situation has worsened that badly, and it is down to us to reverse that trend, that tragical trend, and make sure that this situation is being resolved in 2020.
All right. The women in the northwest and southwest regions of the country will absorb this message easily. Now, those who are in francophone parts of the country, and definitely this is because they are directly...
Yes, please let me land. Today, for instance, you have women in Bonaberi who are having internally displaced person as host guests in their houses. We're talking about tens of people. In Makepe, there's a chief there who welcomed 300 internally displaced persons from the northwest and southwest, and this is telling you that it's not just those regions that are aggrieved by the situation by now. I work with a group of teachers that came from Tombel to settle in Loum, and now are looking after roughly 1,200 young men, young boys and girls from the Anglophone regions. But those people, those 1,000 and roughly 300 people now live in Loum, which is in the Francophone area, and that means that the Francophone regions are also impacted by the situation, even if the fire is not burning in the Francophone region. Yes, you mentioned, and it is very important for me to touch on that. You mentioned the far north. You have to know that there is a terrible situation when it comes to human rights violation in far north at the moment. I went there on the 1st of February. I was in Marwa, and I had the opportunity to speak with women, and I hope you will give us the opportunity to have those women coming to talk, because when you see only our faces as leaders and politicians, it makes this whole situation very abstract. But I would like to have those people, the women that are being impacted, directly impacted in their lives. When you listen to them, talking to them, I'm coming back to this far north issue, talking to you about the brothers and sisters that they have lost, about the fact that they are being, if it is forbidden to plant some varieties of sorghum because the plant is very high and the army considers it as a hiding for Boko Haram people, and that as a consequence they can't plant what they will need during the dry season to feed themselves and their children, then you know that the situation of this country is impacting every single woman from the north to the south to the east to the west of this country. And this is the reason why we are feeling it is down to us to do something. Even if we are not from the Anglophone regions of this country, it is to us to do something. When we see what happened in Gabu, we feel it is happening to us. We don't feel it is happening to someone in a foreign country. I think this is something that needs to be said. What is happening in Lebialem, in Ngoki Tunja, etc., is happening to us. It's not like when they talk about these regions, they're talking about Mali or Nigeria. They are talking about this country.
Right, Barrister, I was asking this question because when you talk to some people, you get the impression that, or they'll give you the impression that they're less concerned by what is happening over there. I listened to a female journalist on state media, and she said, le prétendu massacre de Ngarbu. When she uses that word, le prétendu,
the so-called. Yes. And that is the reason why I was calling you to, and calling the people who are watching to make, to draw a line between the victims of the situation. And I mean by that the vast majority of the Cameroonians, and the people in power, in official power, the government officials who are there to give excuses for what they are not doing well. It is because they are mismanaging this country that we are in this situation. There is no dispute about that. And of course, the whole exercise, I watched also the debate earlier today, and I could see that immediately you are from CPDM, is just like you are forced to explain that what is happening in our lives is not really happening. You know, those people are sitting in Yaoundé. Of course, if you talk about Mr. Bia, if you talk about, I don't know, Mr. Gregoire Owona or Mr. Tanganji, if you ask them what they did during the past few weeks, they will talk to you about celebrating their birthday. They will talk to you about nice dinners with their families and friends. Go and ask the same question in the Lebialem, and they will tell you what is the daily life like. So when this journalist is saying the so-called, it is because she's sitting in Yaoundé. Nobody died in the past few days in her own family. So she can dare talking to us as if what is happening in our life, she can tell better than us. This is why I am telling the women, I am telling to myself, I'm telling to everyone who is watching that it is because we remain silent that this is continuing to happening. We need to step up. We need to tell those people what is really happening in our life, and that we are not happy, those of us who are still alive today. Because as the days go, every single day you have someone else who's being killed. Every single day. So for those of us who are still alive, if we want that to stop, now it is our turn to say something about the situation. We have to stop listening to those in Yaoundé, in A2D, in CRTV, because they're talking about us when they don't know what is happening in our lives. We need to step up and start talking ourselves, use our own mouth and own voice to talk about what is happening in our life. Say that we are not happy with it and that we want that changed.
All right. There's been a conflict of figures, a conflict of facts on the Ngarbu incident. Government saying 5 persons, 4 children, 1 woman. Other organizations, human rights organizations, non-governmental organizations, national and international, saying at least 22 people killed. The church, the Kumbu diocese, indicating more than 20 persons killed in that incident. And until now, there's still this conflict of figures. What do you think about this issue of government trying to maintain that this is what happened? There was a conflict between the separatists and the army. There was fuel around the area that provoked the fire, and other sources are saying no, nothing like that happened. Other people on the ground are saying they knocked at my door, they came in, they killed me, they killed somebody, and so on and so forth.
The one thing, the first thing I want to say is that for those of who come from Gabu that are still alive, because thank God they did not kill everyone there, we are so sorry for your loss. Really, truly, we are so sorry for your loss. I think this is the first thing that should be said, and I'm so ashamed that nobody in the government bothered to say that at first. The second thing is, I'm sure just like you and just like the vast majority of the Cameroonians, you're not interested in the figures battle that is ongoing. You're not interested by this conversation about saying who's right and who's wrong. What is wrong is having people being killed. What is wrong is have a baby being burned down in a house when that baby is asleep on a regular night. That is not what should happen, and this is what is wrong. And we want, women of the nation, this initiative is about saying that we're done with that irrelevant conversations. We're done with that. We're going back to the essential conversation, which is, as human beings and citizens of this country, we have a right to live in peace, to raise our children in peace, to work honestly to earn our livings, and die in our bed when we are old. This is a fundamental right, and we are up now to defend it. We're not going to give in to some stupid conversation about if the number was right or from the government side or it was right. Think about it. The Ministry of Defense.
A proper analysis of the situation on the ground, what happened, how many people were killed, who did what, is expected to kind of open the way for a better management of the situation.
Oh, you think it is because they don't have the right figure that they are mismanaging the situation? I don't think so. I don't share that view. That is the reason why I'm saying this is not the right conversation, because while we are arguing over this figure or the other, we're not tackling the issue. The issue, I say it again, is that the village are being burned down. This is unacceptable. How do you stop that? You stop that by stopping the army from doing that. You stop that by having a president of the republic who will say, now I'm calling the army back. Leave that place, go back home. We are going to settle the issue at hand through dialogue. This is what we are expecting now. So it's not about...
That will be difficult to come about if we continue. I mean, when I'm talking about we, I'm referring to government officials on one hand saying that no, I'm just using the word to say government officials. If they continue saying the military is professional, the military did not do this thing, there was a battle with the separatists, they came there for an operation, and there was fuel and things like that.
That is telling you that they are not capable of handling the situation. Because for as long as they are discussing things we are not interested in, they are supposed to work for us, right? The last time, this is a republic, okay? Let's get back to the basic. The army is there to protect us, and we are saying the army is not protecting us. If their response is, oh, we are professionals, then good for them. But I was not disputing that, and I was not interested in that in the first place. I'm interested in my safety, my security, and the life of my loved ones. This is what I'm interested in. So if I raise a concern, okay, some people raised a concern about the situation. Some people cried out loud that they are being killed and that they are now afraid and that they want that to stop. And if the response from the government and the military is to say, oh, we are doing that as professionals, and what happened in Gabu was just an accident. If now we're being called accidents. And
it will be handled as an accident, if it is referred to as an accident.
If we do nothing about it. If we do nothing about it, and I think it is necessary for those who are who are watching this, that we remember that Ngabo is not the first instance where people are being burned down in houses. It's not the first time that people are being killed in those regions. That has been ongoing for almost 3 years now. So this incident, because for once we have images, we have proofs, and we have an international non-governmental organization saying we know what happened, we can be witness and we can show evidences of what happened. We are giving another opportunity to talk about the issue, and that is the reason why, as women of the nation, we are calling the women to seize that opportunity and not give up until finally we are giving an attentive ear to our complaint. And our complaint is simple. We have people dying every day, and we want that to stop. Who is able to stop that? I think it will be the government of this country, because it is the government who decides. It is the government who decides to react with violence to what was happening in those regions. So it is down to the government now to stop. It is the government, and the reason I'm saying that is you will notice that the day somebody spoke about a grand national dialogue, it was the government. It was not the separatists. It was not the Ambazonian. The person who said, okay, now we are going to organize a big national dialogue, and we will talk about the issue, and we will come up with, and people will come up with the solutions, and we will tackle that issue. It was the government. So we are right in when we say that it is down to the government to stop this nonsense. And this is what we want now. It is because maybe we did not say it loud enough. Let us say that loud enough. Let us be in our numbers, we women, victims of this situation. Let us be out on the 8th of March in our numbers to tell them that this has to stop, and we will all see that after all these years of blood spilling, it stops.
The government has the responsibility to put an end to that.
It's not only a responsibility, they are accountable for not
and to
doing
protect
so.
the
Yes.
citizen. And the government says, we have been struggling to put an end to this matter. We have been taking decisions and actions, and the latest is the creation of the Commission of Inquiry to find out the truth about the Garbo incident.
Good, very good.
This last action of the government, what do you think about it? The Commission of Inquiry, can we expect anything from that?
I'm a bit surprised that they are having a commission of inquiry now, because I thought we already knew what happened there. They know how many people were killed. They know under which circumstances. They know it was just an accident. The Minister of Defense knows what happened. So who is going to inquire now, and about what? Because nobody said that this commission is independent, that the people who are being members of this commission are coming from a friend country, a friend foreign country, or they are coming from a civil society organization, that you would expect a change on what has already been communicated and announced as the circumstances for that tragedy. Actually, it will still be the military. So when the Ministry of Defense published their communique, they were talking on behalf of whom? If now they are having a commission to investigate and tell us what happened.
But the answer to that question
it's very simple. I think it is
preliminary findings.
Preliminary to what?
Preliminary findings that
so
those
what else needs to be discovered now? Who is going there in Gabu to see what, and to come up with what kind of conclusion? So are we saying that this time they come back and say, oh, you know, actually we've counted, we saw the corpse lying on the floor, and there might be more than 5, there will be 6, 8? Or are we saying that now they will be able to tell us who was there, and that this military was not acting on our behalf, and that is the reason why we have arrested him and sent him to the court? What else do you want to be discovered? Maybe the President of the Republic doesn't know what happened. Maybe. Then maybe it is for him that this commission is needed. Maybe. Good for him. Again and again. Good for him. I think we will be accomplices to what is happening in this country if we continue to listen and be influenced by what is being done in Itudi and the like. I think we should stop and think by ourselves. After all, if there's a President of the Republic today, and he is the one who keeps saying that he was appointed by the people, so that is to say he's not by the people. Yes, so he was chosen by the people. Why does he keep saying that? Because he himself knows we are not in a monarchy. So he is not our boss. It's the other way round. So if we decide we are no more interested in whatever he has to say about Gabu, it is our call, and he is the one who has to respect this call. It's not that he will decide what needs to be done and then we have to work by it. We know what happened in Gabu.
He is the head of state.
Yes, and we are the state. So what is he heading if we are not there? And this is what is happening. This state is being destroyed. So he will be heading what? What is he going to be heading if we are not there? So we want to be there. We want to feel better. We want to take care of our children. We want peace back, so that maybe he could continue to be heading a state. At the moment, we barely have a state to be headed. So, and you know, at times, as a mother and a citizen, I get frustrated when this conversation becomes too much of a political conversation. I think over and above everything, we have human beings, and this is about our lives.
Barrister, when you see children being killed, according to the church, more than 7. According to other non-governmental organizations, about 15 children who have nothing to do. Maybe it could be said in the far north that, for example, that maybe they could be carrying some explosives on them and things like that. But in the northwest region of the country, in the night, children asleep, killed. What can we say about the evolution of the situation, the future of these two regions?
First of all, I would like to disagree with you on one point. I think it is, we have to blame ourselves as parents, even in the case of the children in the far north. There's no children on this earth that deserve to be killed. Even if that children is carrying, if that child, there's no child, even if that child is carrying a bomb, because he will not do that on his own volition. So it would still be the responsibility of us as adults. There will be something that we did not do right to get to that point. It goes, of course, even more for a child that is lying in a bed at night and sleeping, of course. And this is the very reason why women, as women of the nation, we decided to rise, and we decided enough of politics, enough of political parties. I said it before. This initiative is aiming at bringing together all the women of this nation who feel aggrieved, touched by the situation of this country, and who feel they have a say in that situation. So at this very moment, it's difficult to talk about economy, healthcare, education. It's difficult to discuss on politics because we are not even sure that we will be still there tomorrow. For thousands of us, hundreds of thousands of us, they don't even know whether they will be still alive in a week.
Living in uncertainty.
So we need to stop and resolve that first as a matter of urgency. And this goes far beyond arguing over whether or not the minimum wage should be increased, or you know, how many civil servants you should have. Those are the kind of conversation that you have as a political party, and you have in front of your fellow citizens to decide which party is going to win in elections. We cannot even talk about election. And the recent decision from the Constitutional Council proved us right.
Cancelling the legislative elections.
Yes, they proved us right, because we said it. We said you cannot have elections organized in this country under these circumstances. Everybody was saying, oh, why? Now we see why. So now what is going to happen? Can we say that in 20 days or 40 days, which is the legal time limit, to reorganize the elections in those areas where it was cancelled, that the situation would have improved so that we can organize elections? This is where we come into play. This is where we say, okay, we will see to it that the situation is resolved, because it is only once the situation has been resolved that we can start again talking about election. It's very difficult. You asked me, what do you think about the future? It's very, very, very difficult to talk about the future when you're not even sure of the present. We're trying to save the present. At the moment, we are managing a crisis. It's not even an understatement to say
some have qualified as a full-blown civil war.
Exactly. Somebody called it Cameroon unfolding catastrophe. We're managing a catastrophe. When you are managing a catastrophe, you're talking about surviving. And it is only once you've survived that you can start thinking about tomorrow, next week, next month, or the years to come. So we are asking all the citizens of this country to stop and think about this catastrophe and resolve the problem now. 7th of March, 8th of March, let's rise. Let's rise and say to the world that we've had enough of this. This has to stop. It is really, 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 I believe it is down to us.
All right, Barrister, we interviewed some persons who are living in the northwest region of the country, some of the people who have been victims of the crisis, and we also interviewed some officials. Take a listen to them in these interviews.
I was just in my house. I just saw the military. They surrounded the whole place. They surrounded everybody. So I just entered the house. We stayed there. We just had houses. They were burning houses, shooting guns. We just stayed in the house. They came, knocked the door. We opened the door. We did not open the door so far. They started breaking the door with their hammers, with their weapons. They broke the door, and finally we came out, I and my father who were in the house. So they took me from there. They started brutalizing me from the house up there. They brought me right down here where their armored car was parked here. I was lying here, so tortured. Up to now, I cannot even check my hands up because all my ribs were broken, all parts were broken away from me. They laid me here, and this building that was here was burning. All the heat was upon me here on this floor. So the military, they just decided to torture us for no good cause. I personally am the victim because from here they took me again right to their barrack there at the courtyard. Orders fell upon me. They tortured me until when the delegation saw that I am already dead, they just abandoned me there and left because they never knew I would get up again. They thought I'm already a dead man. So,
were you told why you were being beaten? Did they consider you as a suspect?
They said we are the one who say we want to change the country. We say we want to divide the country. They were asking where are the boys. We say we don't know about any boys. They say, okay, we say we want to divide the country. I said, no, we are not interested in all those. You've come and met me in my house. You've not met me outside. I'm right in my house. So I don't know anything about any Amba boys. So they were only insisting that we know where the boys are. I said, I don't know anything concerning the boys. So they said, okay, we are the one who want to separate the country. I said, no, we are not. I'm not. Who am I to separate the country?
So when the incident occurred and you were abandoned on the ground, how did you manage to get up from there? And today you are still alive? Probably you went to the hospital and so on.
When the delegation that came from Bamenda and others, they came smash on me, brutalized me terribly. They saw that I am already dead. They left now, they count their delegation that were going to Bamenda, they left me there. The other one that were at the courtyard there, they started shooting guns on me. I thought that they wanted me to just leave the premises so that I should be thrown on by the roadside so that they should come and pick my corpse. But thank God, the one that's there at the courtyard, they just forced pushed me to be rolling on the ground. I was cropping on the ground until I went behind the courtyard there. They turned and looked behind. I did not see anybody. So I just struggled, managed, and came down through the courtyard to where I'm residing. From there, I was taken again to the hospital in Bamenda District Hospital, where the next day I was taking total medication in Bamenda until the doctor, they then said the case is not a case for medical. I said my ribs have broken, bones are broken, so I should not go to these bone treatment people. So they took me now to one part at Booty there. I slept there for about 3 months until you see me now being alive.
Is this what has been happening here since this crisis started late 2016?
Mine occurred on the 8th of February 2018. So it is what has been happening here since 4 years ago. It is not strange. We have been suffering in the hands of the military.
Where are all the people who were living in these houses?
Ran all in the bushes. You can look at houses burnt all around. No inhabitants around. Everybody has all run into the bushes. There's nobody around. We are the ones that if they come like that now, I will never bear risk to sit in the house again. When I just hear that they are coming, I go me direct into the bush. So that is why we are now from the bushes. We just come in time when we know that they are not around. From there, when we hear that they are around, we run out and go us into the bushes.
Well, I don't even know what happened because I only see fire. I run from here to the bush. People run, come and tell me in the bush that my place is already burned. So I didn't know what was happening. So when I came, I see that everything is burned. Gun shooting all over Bali. Gun shooting throughout the whole day. All the people ran away. All the people. We are just from the bush. I'm just from the bush.
We just heard them shooting. So at one point they were quiet. We knew that they have gone. As we were coming out, that we should run and go right inside the bushes, only for us to see them removing things from this store. The store that people are seeing behind. They remove and pack inside their cars. And then as one of them saw us coming out of the house, as they saw that, they left and can follow us. They came and break the door and met us inside. Asked us, what are we doing here? When everybody have gone, we were in the house with our grandmother. We said we cannot go out because our grandmother is here. She cannot walk and we cannot carry her along. As they were talking, they were shouting. One of them said, we should leave, we should stand up and pass. We always stood inside the house. They were there talking in French. Since some of us, we were not versed with the French language, we were not really hearing what they were saying. They just talk, and then later on they left and went. As they went out, now we were inside the house. That is when we heard now a deep sound of the gun. The sound now was the sound that they were now burning and going. They were burning the houses, burning until they arrived at the government school where they had come the previous day and burned from one stream that we call Chase and Sun and came up.
One be around 4:30. We hear guns and we no be knowing direction where guns and they come. Me like picking every day house. We no begin no thing where we do a passing more long na house. She don't wait for her. We she don't for her until we hear time with people that they talk for outside. One come for outside, we see crowd for we market. We go reach for day. Then people they talk say now some people become someone they mask, then someone they wear army dresses.
After the incident that occurred in Gabo, the head of state, the Excellency Pobia, and the First Lady have shown their concern by sending a message of condolence to the victims, the family of the victims of that incident, by creating an inquiry commission to come out with the truth of what really happened in Garbo. But he has also instructed us to create an assessment committee chaired by the SDO to assess the human, material and psychological damages that occurred in Garbo. The inquiry commission has already started its work in Bawenda and is coming soon to the theater, to the scene, to investigate and start the hearings of the victims and those that can give a testimony of what really happened here.
Military here, military people.
Yes.
They are here for your security, for your protection.
Yes.
And that you have to help us fight Amber. I'm satisfied, but you still have a lot to do because we have the bridge on the Katina river, and then we have 17 kilometers from Katina to Fuawa. You know, it's open, and then the population, the military, and everybody can come and go to Nigeria without any problem.
The head of state enacted into law the law on the promotion of official languages. He also gave us an instruction to explain the law to target groups and to the population. We thought then that it was necessary for us to meet, understand the law, which is the first product of the major national dialogue. Understand it so that we'll be able to explain it to target groups and to the population. That is why we are meeting here today.
Is there any change?
Obviously, they go hand in hand. When you use you use either both languages to vehicle information, to provide access to information for training, to obtain services in the public service delivery, a lot of things will change. And we're optimistic about that.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us, Barrister Michelle NDOKI. How to end this problem now?
We've said it. We need, first of all, to put an end to cease the fire. I think it has been said again and again. The fire needs to be ceased. Then we believe in the necessity to have those who were fighting sitting down around a table and talk about the future of this nation and how they look at it and how to resolve the issue at hand that led to that armed conflict. I think this is a first step. We need to sit down and talk. I'm not so much into how to do that, who should be talking. I'm sure we know who should be talking. It's clear that if you know who to shoot, if you know who to put in jail, okay, then you know who to talk to. Because the
men should sit down and talk with the separatists?
Of course, because they are shooting the separatists at the moment. Okay, you heard it very loud and clear. You are the one who wants to divide the country. That's the reason why we're beating you up and shooting you. So they know who to shoot. And this is not working. I can understand as a Cameroonian citizen that some government officials are against the idea of having the former Southern Cameroon restored. I can understand that. And they have been making a lot of, putting in a lot of efforts, spending a lot of money, sending a lot of people to being killed, our children, as army person, to prove that point. It is not working. It's just making the situation worse. So this should be stopped, and we should try and manage the situation differently.
All right. Others think that the present regime should just leave and give way. A political transition must take place for things to work in this country.
Yes, other can think that, and this is what I like. At least we understand now that we can have different views on a situation. We can have different views on how to resolve the situation of this country. And the problem is not so much that we share different views. The problem is that some of the people think there are some views that needs to be paid attention to, and some of the views should not be listened to. That is how you get into an armed conflict.
Right.
So now we need to go back to a situation where we are listening to one another. We are willing, as women of the nation, to create the platform for that to happen.
All right, Barrister, we cut off by time. We'll certainly have other opportunities to discuss further on this. Thanks so much, Barrister Michelle NDOKI, a lawyer and politician, member of the CRM political party, and one of the mothers of the nation.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying. That's it for today.